one of my first questions would be, well, are they really going to work as hard as possible? Because at the end of the day, they're going to get paid their flat fee no matter what. Like, I understand why those other options may not be the best for say me or anybody or whatever, because they might have ulterior motives. But then how do you ensure that if like they're getting paid that flat fee no matter what, that they're really optimizing your money and making your money work for you, or if they're just like, oh, doing the bare minimum?
Yeah. I think that's all a part of the interview process and making sure that you feel comfortable with the person that you're going to work with. I mean, in my contract too, it's like, here's my flat fee. It's $5,500 for a year. We meet once a month. I'm doing this on the side. If you have questions or things, I'm educating you and guiding you out throughout the year. I also say, like, if you feel at month 6 that you're not getting the value, I'll end the contract. Like, it's no, like...
See, I feel like that is, like, all I would need to hear.
Yeah.
Is because then you know, like, if I'm not trying to keep you. Like, and I feel like that shows the pure intentions that you have, and it gives you that sort of trial period too, in a way. I mean, yes, you're signing a contract, but you know that at the end of the day, if it's not working out or you find something that you think is better, quote unquote, you can always leave. No one's trying to keep you there. If it was the opposite, that would make people think like, I don't know, like, why do I have to stay here if it's not working out for me? I love that there's that sort of like, you're not really tied to this long term.
Yeah. I do say, like, it's nice to have the contract in place because it is one of those pieces where it's accountability.
Yeah.
I've had people, like, they're like, well, I just want to try it for a month or 2 months. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not going to get the results you want, like, after 1 or 2 months. And it puts so much pressure on me to be like, let's try and, like, I want to hustle and make sure that you get the most out of this 2 months. But, like, if we have 12 months to work through all the ups and downs of life, like, so much happens in a year.
You're not gonna see any change.
And it's like, even if you look at like Thanksgiving and Christmas, like the spending goes up, and like, how do we manage that? And how do we look at that on an annual basis to make sure you just like, you're putting a little bit away every month to save for that? Or do you really want to be saving for, you know, an extreme Christmas, like, or is that something
is that the best use of your money?
Right,
or no?
Like maybe it's not a priority and you're just making it into something. So like, can we talk through these like phases of the year that are coming up for you?
So then with that potentially like 1 year contract or, you know, continuing or ongoing contract, what do the touch points look like? You know, can you reach out at any time? Do you have scheduled meetings? When do you guys touch base?
So I have once a month, it's a scheduled meeting where it's literally us following through on action items. We're looking at spending plans and like, you know, how much, I'm going to say it, the dirty word, budget. We're looking at your budget, what happened, like where did money go this month? We're really just reviewing, you know, 401ks and investments and educating you on like how to set up and structure everything that you have in your life. And then I always say like those half-hour calls like mid-month to checkpoint, you know, the first couple of months are nice because it's like stuff does come up and you're like, wait, what do I do with this? But again, it's like one of those accountability things. Like it's once a month is just so nice. Like make time for your money. It's like a nice little money date that we have together.
A money date. I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to know that sort of you're accessible at any point, you know, so that when questions come up, there's already that space created where they can come to you and know that you'll answer, you're available, rather than feeling like they have to like set up a whole new meeting or a whole new thing. Like they can shoot you an email, they can call you on a whim, and you can help them obviously like within your schedule and when you're available, but it doesn't need to necessarily be so formal too, you know? It can be a quick question about something in particular and hopefully get, you know, a quick answer.
Yeah. I always say like some meetings are sexy and fun. Others are not so much, but like it is just a nice, like I think having that person where you can like rely on them, like I'm a part of your team, and that's what your financial advisor should be. You shouldn't be like having to fill them in once a year on everything that happened throughout the year, because you're going to let things seep through the cracks. And
Yeah, I'm sure that's where a lot of people go wrong, is when they push it to the side and sort of forget about it for a while.
Yeah. So that's what I say, sometimes it's like 20 minutes, sometimes it could be an hour and a half. It just kind of depends on where you're at and what's happening in life. But I think it's nice to just be able to have those points in life where you're like, yeah, I'm just making time for my money. Like, it controls everything in my life. So, putting it as a priority.
Okay, so other than how they're getting paid, it makes sense to maybe ask about a contract process or anything like that. Anything else that you think is really important to ask your financial advisor upfront before choosing who you want to work with?
I think you also want to make sure that they have good referral partners for you as well, like mortgage brokers, real estate agents, people on their team that they work with regularly, that it's not going to be you going out and trying to find your own team. Like, they're building good relationships with people that are going to be able to say, yeah, I have a great CPA that fits your specific needs because I have, 5 vetted people that have been working with me and have been working with clients in different situations. So I think that's really important too.
Very helpful. I love these questions. You talked about budget being the dirty word. We joked around about that on our call when we were chatting. I'm curious. I think a lot of people are going to relate to that. I sort of cringe up when I hear the word budget. But I'm curious from your perspective, and having worked with, several clients over the years, why do you think that the word budget makes people so uncomfortable?
Because there's a difference between having a budget and being on a budget. And if you think about
that is a mic drop moment.
There is a difference.
That's so freaking true.
Because having a budget is just like, yeah, I love spending money on shopping. And my health and wellness budget is like $1,500 a month because I love working out. I love going to the spa. I love taking care of myself. I love it's just, I love my health and wellness budget. But being on a budget for health and wellness is completely different, meaning I'm restricting myself from spending on this area that I really love spending money on.
That's so true. And there's not always that sort of clarification. It gets those two forms of having and being on get interchanged quite often. So it all gets lumped into this negative connotation of that, budget means you don't have the money, or you're limited on your spending, rather than being smart about how much you want to allocate for that one thing.
Yes. Most people associate budget with restrictive. It's not going to allow me to spend my money. So what I usually do is I will say, let's take budget and let's reframe it into a different word. We go with a cash flow plan. We go with a spending plan. We're turning it into something that's fun and exciting because so much of the time we've been associating budget with something negative. And sometimes it's just easier to take it out and say, budget doesn't exist in my vocabulary.
Would love to be able to say budget doesn't exist in my vocabulary.
Yeah.
There's a lot of power in that.
And
it really changes the narrative and the perspective on it, because in reality, whether you have a budget or you're on a budget, you're only setting yourself up to be in a better position in the future.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it shouldn't be such a negative thing. But it's just that word choice which makes it seem like it's more within your power or your decision versus a decision being made for you.